What's going on, everyone? Another great day in Canada, and something I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And I just thought about it, and it really applies to more than just farming, but life in general. And that's looking for simplicity, or looking for ways to make things more simple. I find a lot of things in agriculture and in life in general. There's usually two types of people. There's people who are looking for ways to make it more simple, and there's people who are looking for ways to make it more complex and difficult, so it seems more complex and difficult than it needs to be. And I find that in a lot of situations, we've gone to a route where we've made it complex in the agriculture industry. We've made it so that it's a lot more complex. A perfect example is our fields. Every time we do fields, or we fertilize, or we do anything like that, we've gone to artificial fertilizers. We've gone to basically a giant chemistry experiment on how to make sure your fields are done properly. I'm pulled over here, let this person pass by. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, it's gotten very complex, and a lot of things that we do to put back in our soil is a lot more simple than it is. Manure as a whole is really where I'm going with this. Manure you can add right back to the soil. It adds organic matter, it adds nitrogen, it adds a lot of micronutrients. It adds just about everything you need to add back to the soil to get it back to what it needs to be. There's a few things that you can add to make it a little bit better, but cattle manure is almost perfect as a whole. And I really find that that's a simple way to rejuvenate your soil. It's a simple way to add organic matter. And artificial fertilizer that is very expensive now, and expensive to apply and expensive to buy, is very difficult. And as I said, it's very intensive on what you need to basically focus on. You need to know your pH, you need to know all these things about your soil. And in the way the world works, in my mind anyway, you'll never get it so that it's 100% accurate, because we just don't have that knowledge. We don't. The simple way, and the way it used to be before artificial fertilizers, is an animal eats a piece of grass, it drops. That drop adds nitrogen and adds organic matter back to the soil, and builds up the soil so that that plant matter can come back up. That's as difficult as it needs to be, but it's not anymore. It's a lot more complex. And when I'm looking to learn something new, or try and increase the profit in my operation, or trying to make it more efficient, that's what I look for, is simplicity, ways to make things more simple. Because the more simple you can make it, the quicker you can do it, the more effective you can be. And that's what I would suggest to anyone, is to make it more simple. The best way to make it more simple is to look for things that are a more simple way of doing it. And usually there's someone who's come up with a better way to do it and make it a lot more simple. So for me, that's my quote, or my moment of the day. If you're at it, trying to get a field back to the way it used to be, do it the old-fashioned way and add manure, add fertilizer, and it makes a big difference. It applies to with zero till, with ground erosion, because before plows, they didn't have ground erosion, because the root matter and everything like that was holding the soil in place. But with plows and all that, we have a lot more issues. So now it starts getting a lot more complicated, and now you have to fix problems that you're creating, instead of going routes that don't have those problems. So that's what I would suggest. And thanks a lot, guys. Take care and have a good day. Enjoy farming.